Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome on back. Hope that you are well, feeling good, finding yourself in a decent place. Today, how about we check out a little bit from oh my goodness, Berlioz? Berlioz? I do not know exactly how to say his name, but we're going to go ahead, continue as we are with this piece of music, Disarray, Tuba mirum. This is coming from Requiem, op number 5, which was, hold on, I'm getting the year, published in 1838. We are checking out this piece as it was suggested and sponsored by Alan. Alan, thank you so much for the recommendation. I appreciate that. We've only listened to one particular piece from Berlioz, which was Symphony Fantastique. So this will be our second. Checking this one out here. I just want to, when we pull this up, the piece of art that's, I guess, was chosen to accompany the music looks really, really, really cool. And then Alan said that this piece of music, like the story behind it here, is the Day of Judgment viewed through the eyes of the French romantic genius, of course, Berlioz. He had the groundwork laid out for this while Beethoven was still alive, even. So let's go ahead and pull this up. This sculpture is really, really cool. I'm just loading it. Oh, here it is. It's starting to play already. Here we go. I like how their weapons are in gold. Dredges up those deeper strings from the pits. Then light. Nice contrast there. It's like the first bit of tension broken. It kind of sounds a little bit like Wagner, a little bit. That rushing always brings something. It's like a herald. Every time, it always brings something with it. That's definitely a change. How that gave way to more of the twilight. Now that sounds like war in the back, especially with the drums. I like the way they rose up there. I just love how it pulls it from the lowest notes. Makes you hold your breath. I got the percussion just rolls with it. This is like rolling thunder of war. When you think it can't go any further and hit any higher, it does. And still, there's a minute left. Like, that felt like the ending. That was a journey of music. That's perfectly captured the war, the drama, the theatrics. And I really like how it started off very, very quiet in a way and very simply. Of just the choirs going back and forth with a nice contrast between the higher voices and then to the lower, and with a little bit of instrumentation beneath it in the beginning. But then, little by little, and I mean like little by little, it draws it up. It pulls down from the dredges of the depths and pulls up something before it becomes something incredibly dramatic and triumphant in its sound, with the horns, the brass section that comes in, the strings like performing gloriously and magnificently. And I really like how there's that part every time I mentioned it, but every time this little sweeping of music comes in, it pulls some new element with it. And the finale that it pulls up is huge. Like it is absolutely magnificent. And I thought that was a really cool way of progressing the music. You know, you kind of start in a certain place, a certain structure. Like, for example, the very beginning, I'm gonna play the music here again. You know, choirs here, like I said, relatively simple. Okay, we get it. This sounds lovely. But then those rushing of strings, those quick quiverings, it fades in and pulls something new with it. And every time it does that, a new element is introduced. So, at this point now, You have more strings. You have a little bit more orchestration happening behind it. And the choir is becoming more agitated and more excitable little by little. And then it pushes and pushes and pushes. Let me see if I can find that transition. I want to see if I can find that moment. That shift. There. See? And then every time, I think that is such a cool device in the music here to like stop whatever section we're going to, pause it basically, create a hesitancy, a little bit of anxiety, and then build into something new. Here, from that point forward, it's basically hitting that climax. And it is so cool how that works in the music because it's when you hear that pause, you're at least I'm thinking in my mind, okay, is that rushing of strings coming? And then the strings begin, and you're just wondering and led curious, what's it going to bring with it this time? And every time it does that, I thought that it was a really cool device to, salivate your mind and kind of make you curious as to what's about to follow, what's about to come. And then, especially how it completely diverts and deviates from what preceded it. Because this, right, that's one of the earlier times it happens, is much different than this. And when it gets into that section, it sounds very much to me like Wagner with some of that Viking kind of legend and that sound there, which is just incredibly brash. There's a constant rumbling that takes place from about halfway forward, which is of course the percussion, the timpani and stuff going on back there. And it kind of adds to this big idea of this war, this battle, this violence that's happening in the music and of course throughout the themes as well. And it just creates this maelstrom, this storm of sounds, which sounds really cool. And then it, of course, builds up to that incredible last minute, which I'm not going to play because it's too loud and I don't want to scare you up, right here. But I thought that was really interesting that for the final minute, there's a brief respite. There's a rest. So I like how we calm everything. It's like you can feel your heart beating in your chest. If you were listening to this live and watching it performed, I believe that final minute in which everything is at a rest and at a calm, you can probably feel your heart beating in your throat. You could probably, your ears are just trying to reacclimate to the silence, and the silence sounds even more quiet than before. And I think that the way that that's performed in here is really, really fantastic. Shall we look at some of the info for this? Of course, we looked at a certain portion here, the disarray tuba from Requiem Operation Op 5. I don't know why I said operation. Let's see. Composed in 1837. It's one of his best known works. The tremendous orchestration of woodwind, brass instruments, including 4 antiphonal offstage brass ensembles. The work derives its text from the traditional Latin Requiem Mass, duration of approximately 90 minutes. Of course, goes through different parts here. This is what we listen to, the disarray, prosa tuba mirum. Let's see if we can find some info here. The sequence commences in the second movement with a disarray portraying Judgment Day. There are 3 choral sections, each followed by a modulation to the next section. Following the third, I'm imagining the modulation is the part I was saying, with the strings. Following the third modulation, the 4 brass ensembles, specified by Berlioz to be placed at the corners of the stage, but more commonly deployed throughout the hall. First Peter fortissimo E, blah, 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 blah. The loud flourish is followed by the choral entry, tuba mirum, a powerful unison statement by the chorus basses at the top of their register, followed by the rest of the choir. There's a recapitulation of the fanfare heralding the coming of the Last Judgment by the full choir and canon at the octave. The choir whispers the woodwinds and strings to end the movement. They bring it down. Yes, they do. Of course, here's some different performances as well. It goes on from there. Incredibly intense, but also incredibly beautiful at the same time in every single respect as it's performed. I just really like how that little quickening of the strings led to the next part and led to the next segment in that movement there. Let me know, of course, what you guys thought of it down below. Alan, thank you so much for sending over the request. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support as well. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye.